everybody, welcome back to Pixie Woo. Happy New Year. I haven't seen you because Sam did the last video. I haven't seen you since the New Year. I hope you had a brilliant Christmas and a fantastic New Year. I'm doing dry January. Is anyone else? Thumbs up if you are. And I don't even drink much, but I'm finding it hard. It's obviously my issue is when people tell me not to do something, I have to do it. But it is my choice, obviously. Yeah, I'm not even a big drinker, but I'm finding it hard. Over Christmas, I put on 5 pounds. So I have been cutting out alcohol and dairy and been trying to be really, really good and been training with my brother. And I've lost the 5 pounds, which is great. So fingers crossed that may continue. At least I had a fun time. Now it's all doom and gloom, which has made me a bit miserable about January. So today I'm going to do a really nice feel-good makeup tutorial because I hadn't been feeling so good. I put some fake tan on to cheer me up a little bit, and I use this fake tan, if anyone's heard of it. It's called Tan Luxe, and it's a gradual tan. I use it on my face even though it's not really for face, it's for body, and I just use a really big brush. I actually use this one and just buffed it all into my skin and down my neck so I don't get too much, but I get an even coverage and my hands don't get it on it. And it just makes me feel a little bit better and a little bit more alive. I've also had my ears pierced up here, so they're a bit sore. So I'm trying to make myself feel a little bit better, ready for the summer when it comes. But today's video I'm going to do for you is about feel-good makeup, and it's the makeup that I go to when I'm feeling a little bit down. I don't feel down, don't get me wrong, but when I'm feeling a little bit like I haven't made the best of myself, this is the makeup that makes me feel a little bit better. It's not tons of makeup, it's just quite a fresh, healthy, glowing look, but it does make all of the face stand out, but not too much. And it is a sponsored video. So it's sponsored by Elizabeth Arden for Prevage. Now, if anyone knows us, we don't do videos that are sponsored unless we really love the product. And I use this foundation anyway, and if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see that I've been using it for a while. And they said, oh, do you want to do a video with it? And I was like, yeah, of course. So it's a no-brainer. So this is going to be, I'm going to use this foundation, but I'm going to use other products as well. So let's start with the foundation. So this is Elizabeth Arden Prevage foundation. I'll talk you through why I like it. Let me get my foundation brush. So I'm just going to use an expert face brush to apply this onto my skin. You don't have to use a brush if you don't want. You could use a sponge. A sponge used damp is going to give you, like this, a sponge used damp is going to give you a slightly lesser coverage. A sponge used dry is going to give you more coverage, but it's also going to soak up a lot more of your product. So do be aware of that. You can use a flat brush if you'd prefer, a flat foundation brush. Do I have one to hand? But a flat foundation brush is going to give you more coverage again. I like the expert face brush because you can really buff this foundation in, and I like it to look like it's part of your skin because it really sits on the skin like it is part of it. So it's great for people of my age. It's great for any age really, but it's really nice for people that are getting slight signs of aging. I'm 36. I think it's a great one. I've got a dry skin that works really nicely on my skin. Now, I'd actually never used Prevage products, but my husband swears by them. If he's always like, oh, I need a new moisturiser, can you go and get me Prevage, which is how he says it, get me Prevage, because he thinks it's really, really sounds better to say it with a little funny accent. So he's always like, can you go and get me Prevage? So I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll get it for you. And the reason he loves it is because he hates anything that feels too tacky on the skin. So he likes the fact that it works into the skin. It actually makes his skin look beautiful. So I don't mind spending to buy it for him. And he swears by it, absolutely swears by it. So I don't know why I haven't used it before, the actual moisturiser. Maybe I should, because I really like the foundation. The foundation is the first colour foundation that Elizabeth Arden have brought out, and it combines the Prevage technology into the foundation. It doesn't take place of your normal moisturiser, so do still use that, but it's just got a little bit of extra protection into the foundation. So what it's got is all the world's strongest antioxidants into a foundation. And I think it's good for winter and summer actually. Another reason I like this foundation is because it almost creates a soft focus finish to the skin. I love dewy skin and I like the skin to look like it doesn't have anything on, it's just really well nourished and moisturised. But also like my fine lines are kind of diffused and soft focused, and I think that this foundation does that really, really well. Because it's not completely matte, it doesn't show those little lines. You know, I obviously, on screen, I don't look like I've got as many lines because I've got a bright light in front of me. If we could all walk around with a bright light like Mariah Carey in front of us, we'd all be all right, but this is another way of helping a little bit. And a really, really tight hair up pushes all that back. So even though you'll still be using your other skin treatments that you use, your moisturisers and whatnot, this one is still going to prepare and protect from the environment. So there you go. It's available in 8 shades and they adapt to your skin, and I just love that it gives me kind of a soft focus blurred lines kind of finish. I can't say blurred lines without thinking of that song. Okay, onto under eyes. Now I've been getting really dark circles under my eyes, and I don't know whether that's age or whether I'm just tired or whether I've been run down, but it's really annoying me. So I have found a really strong concealer which does help me a lot. I have got this high coverage concealer for under eyes. This is from Laura Mercier, and it goes such a long way. Squeeze a little bit onto the back of your hand, there's a tiny bit on there, but honestly this goes so far. Then going to take a Real Techniques Deluxe crease brush and I like this brush because it fits right into those contours. So where I'm deep in my eye here, it fits really nicely into there. So I'm going to take that in there, little circular motions just to buff that in. It's a tiny bit lighter than my foundation, that's totally fine because I want to lift it a little bit. I want it to be a little bit lighter without having a shimmer to it or being light reflected, because I don't want to highlight under my eyes, but I do want it to look like it's coming forward a little bit, but with a matte texture. So that goes under there, and also I'm going to take it just in here because where your eyes are deep, my eyes are quite deep at the moment, obviously the whole orbital bone has gone deeper. So I need to make sure I take some concealer just into this area here as well. So it's lifting there, and I tend to drag it right the way around the brow. Because when I come to do my brows, it means I don't have to put a highlighter through there or anything because the concealer's just lifted that. I do also get a tiny bit of discoloration just here. But I'm staying away from this area because I don't want any concealer in that area unless it's going to be a moisturising concealer. I'm using this one for colour and coverage, but I don't want it to sit in my lines. So you can see I've still got loads left on my hand. I'll take that around my nose as well. See, that's really, really nice skin. It doesn't look like I've got tons on. I don't look like I've just completely put a mask on my face. It still looks like my skin. It just looks like a better version of my skin, which makes me happy. And I do like that when I put the concealer over the top of the foundation, because the foundation is so nourishing, it allows it to slip really, really nicely. Because sometimes if you use a concealer that's a little bit dry, if you put it over a dry foundation, it just drags and doesn't blend in as nicely. Okay, next, eyes. I've got another Laura Mercier product. This is Laura Mercier Eye Basics. It is a base, and the colour that I've chosen is Buff. So it's like a primer for your eyes. I'm going to take that right the way over the eyelid, just to even out the colouring on my eyelid, and also to help my eyeshadow stay in place. These are available in lots of other colours as well. I use Buff and Peach, the 2 colours that I have, but there's lots of other ones. I'm then going to go in with this palette. This one is Tartelette in Bloom, and it's by Tarte, and it has lots of colours in there. And do you know what's killing me? They smell like chocolate, and I'm banned from chocolate, but they smell absolutely amazing. And I'm going to take Flower Child, which is this one here, and just wash that all the way over the eyelid. Using the same brush that I used for the primer. And then I'm going to take a little bit of this one, which is called Charmer, which is slightly lighter. And same brush again, I want to get that right in there, where I have the deep bits. It's just going to lift that a little bit more for me. And then while I'm in there, I'm going to take it through the brow bone. So it's almost going around there. It's just lifting the eyes really, really nicely and making them look more awake and more alive. With the same brush again, I'm going to take this one here, which is called Funny Girl, and it's the highlighter one. So I've used all these three to start off with. Now, I didn't want to use this one straight off in case, because with the primer, it was just going to cling to the primer and go really, really bright and reflective. I just want a little bit of shimmer from it, nothing too much, just to make the eyes look a little bit interesting. I like makeup that looks like, have you got something on there or not? So it just adds a tiny touch of shimmer. And then lastly, I'm going to take this one, which is called Jet Setter. Same brush all the way through. I'm just going to run that along the lash line with a big brush, so it kind of gives me quite a good amount, you know, quite a thick, wide amount. Just brush that on there. Let the brush do the work for you to blend it. Right, then on to eyeliner. Now, I'm a massive fan of brown eyeliner. If I'm going to do black, I like it to be a really strong black line, but I really love brown because it's a little bit softer, a little bit like, is she wearing it? It's a bit real, more real, realistic? I don't know. But I have three favourites, well, two actually, but I've got a new favourite which I'm going to use today. Coffee eye pencil from MAC. I love, it's not a kohl, it's an eye pencil, so it's a little bit harder than a kohl, and I use that along my lash line and just buff that in. It's a really nice colour. Also, my favourite one is the Classic by Charlotte Tilbury. It is, I think it's called Audrey actually, but they don't put the name Audrey on there. But it's really, really lovely. It's a powder pencil, so it's like using a powder eyeshadow, but in a pencil form. And it smudges beautifully and blends really, really nicely. So I love that one. But today I'm going to use this Kevyn Aucoin one, which is a basic brown. And this is a new one to me, and I really like it as well. So I'm just going to use that on the outside of the eye. And just softly extend that eye. If I was to use a black, it would look much harder and much more like I've drawn on a flick, which I don't really want. I just want a little bit of an extension there. I like the makeup to look like you, but not like an overdone you, like a, did she make an effort? She looks lovely. So same on the other side. And then this one comes with a little brush on the end, so I'm just going to use that just to soften that, smudge it through. YSL mascara, this is Volume Effets in Noir Radical. It's my favourite mascara. And my lashes, I'm still using Lilash, so they're really, really strong. Really, really strong, really, really long. I like this mascara because I feel like it grabs your lashes and lengthens them and pulls them through so they become a little bit longer, but it also coats every bit of a lash, which I find really, really difficult. And I don't like mascaras that don't have a proper wand. I don't like those plastic ones at all. Until someone invents a good plastic wand, I'm just not behind them. I like a real hair wand. A little bit of MAC extended play on the bottom lashes. This one is water resistant, which is why I go for that one. And sometimes I even put a coat of this just over what I've put on. Not to change it, but just to, I find that this one doesn't move, and sometimes the YSL one moves a bit. I think because my lashes are so long, it touches the top and can transfer a little bit, but by putting a little coat of this on, it just stops it. Eyebrows. I'm going to take a little bit of my Blink eyebrow pencil. I swear by this one. The colour that I go for is Cardamon Pod. I like the fact that it's not waxy at all, the pencil, and it comes with a really strong spoolie. So I'm just going to start from the underneath and pull that across. The reason I like it's not waxy is because then it doesn't move so much. If they're really, really waxy, then I find that they slip out of place a bit. So I just use that to shape the brows a little bit. And then the fact that it's got a strong spoolie on the back just means that I can really rub that up and it kind of blends it through so it looks more natural. So if you see me in the street on a day-to-day basis, this is the makeup that I have. If I haven't just done a video, this is the makeup I wear. Little bit of Eyeko Brow Gel ran through that to show that there are hairs there. Now I think this is a great first date makeup. So I always think that when you go on a first date, people, you know, they're going to look at your face. You're face to face with someone. And that's really, really daunting. So you don't want to look like you're really, well, you've got to be you, obviously, but I don't like to look like I'm really high maintenance. So by putting a makeup on like this, you can't really tell that you've got tons on. You look fresh and healthy. It really makes the eyes stand out, but not overdone. So I think it's just a great first date makeup. Or when you bump into an ex and you want to look your best, but you don't want to look like you're really fake. This is a great makeup for bumping into an ex. Honestly, even if you're not interested in them anymore, you want to look as good as you can. Right, I'm next going to take this Hourglass Sunset palette. It's got a bronzer in, a blusher and a highlight. I'm going to take on the same brush that I used for my foundation. I've not used many brushes. I've used 3 brushes so far. So I'm going to take that and work that onto the cheeks so it gives a lovely, glowy, fresh finish to the skin. Works beautifully over the foundation. Oh God, that was so Norfolk. It works beautifully over the foundation, beautifully. You know, it just glides on. This is one of my favourite products as well. And a tiny bit across the nose so I look like I've got a bit of colour. Who knew that they don't use a gun anymore for piercing your ears, that they actually just stick a needle in? I'm then going to take the highlighter from here and pop that on the top of the cheekbones. I'm going to use my finger so I can really buff that in. Kind of done it in the wrong order because I now want to use a little tiny bit of powder, but it's fine because I'm going to take a really small setting brush. I just want to get that under here just to get that bit into place. I want to take that just here where I get a little bit of a shine around my nose. So I'm not going near the cheeks anyway. On my chin. A little bit of the blusher that's in there. I'm going to use my finger again. I'm just going to run that over the top but pull it upwards slightly. Now onto the lips. I like to use a few products on the lips to give a little bit of dimension and definition. And I don't want to have fake big lips, but I like to create a little bit more of a bigger illusion from lip liners. Firstly, I'm going to take this one, which is Charlotte Tilbury, Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk, and I'm going to colour my whole lip in with that. She also does another one that I've just bought, which is lovely, called Iconic Nude. But I actually prefer that with a warm smoky eye because it can look a little bit too nude and grey on the other eyes. I love the texture of these lip pencils. Over the top of that I have got Kevyn Aucoin Flesh Tone Lip Pencil in the colour medium. So it just creates a little tiny bit of depth. You could use MAC Strip Down if you have it. See how nice that looks? Really, really natural, but really lovely. Then in the middle of that, I'm going to take a little bit of Tom Ford First Time. Now I love this lipstick. It's kind of a pinky corally tone. And it is one of my favourites. It's just a beautiful colour that stands out but doesn't look too much. Lastly, I'm just going to draw my little mole back in. There you have the finished Feel Good makeup to make you feel that little bit better in January when things are a little bit grim and there's nothing really to look forward to, unless it's your birthday in this month, to a great makeup for everything, I think, for going out, for meeting up with your mates, meeting up with your ex, for first day. I think this makeup covers everything. It looks really, really natural, really, really elegant, not too high maintenance. And yeah, I really like this one. This is my go-to makeup. Hope you've enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Please give us a thumbs up. Please share. And yeah, follow me on Instagram, NixiePixie1, and Twitter, NixiePixie. If you do recreate the makeup, you don't have to use all the same products. Just send me a picture of it. I'd love to see. And I do like to chat with you, so please do. And I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.